وَيْلٌ لِلَّذِي يُضْحِكُ النَّاسِ sorry وَيْلٌ لِلَّذِي يَكْذِبُ لِيُضْحِكَ النَّاسِ وَيْلٌ لَهُ ثُمَّ وَيْلٌ لَهُ. Cursed is he who lies in order to make people laugh. Such a person is cursed. It's a curse. It's something which Islam forbids. It's so strongly that even in the case of lying as a joke, this is something that Islam does not accept. It is rejected. Why? Because of the danger that if a person gets in the habit of lying, for fun, if it's something just to keep people happy, let them laugh, so on and so on, so then the seriousness of lying will be lost. The individual, it will become easier for the person to lie in other circumstances, which are very critical circumstances, where a real harm can come from it. Now, as I said, that's the general rule. Now, the Prophet, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, did make 3 exceptions to this rule. And this is perhaps where the individual who's written in, Sajid is written in, asking about the halal lie, whether these could be now considered the halal lies. Okay, if we want to call these, use this terminology, but of course this is not what the Prophet referred to it as, so we really don't want to use that kind of terminology. He gave 3 circumstances, as exceptions, wherein lying would not be considered sinful. The first circumstance is in the circumstance of war, where a battle is taking place, prisoners have been caught, they're being tortured, trying to get information which will now harm their compatriots, other Muslims. So that individual lies, gives them false information so as to protect them. This is legitimate. But this doesn't include treachery, where a person, a group, of military people, they wave the white flag, which has now been accepted as a sign of truce, that we would like to meet, without arms, etc. And then when the enemy comes for the meeting, you all whip out your weapons and massacre them. No, this is not acceptable. This is forbidden, because there is dishonesty here. The second category of lying, which is, you could say, is permissible, is one which will bring 2 friends together, people who have split apart, due to bad feelings amongst them, etc., etc. To try to bring them together. If one says, so and so really is, still remembers you, is still very much concerned about you or whatever, and he goes and he says the same thing to the other. No, neither of these 2 have expressed this, but by saying this to one person, saying, listen, so and so is still thinking about you, remembers your friendship, really wants to be friends, that will put a good feeling in the heart of that individual. Same thing said to the other one, and this is a means of bringing them back together again, to remove the bad feelings that were between them. This is something permissible Islamically. The third category is in the home, where a man or woman may say something to their husband in order for them to feel good or feel better. For example, if a woman, she just bought a new dress, or she just got a new dress, and she models it for her husband, and she asks him, what do you think? And he looks at this dress, and he's really not that pleased with it. Right? He doesn't like it so much. But if he said that, I don't really like it, I don't like the color, I don't like the this or that, whatever, it would hurt her feelings. He knows that she really likes his dress. She's not really asking him, but tell me honestly, what is your opinion, because I'm willing to take it back and change it or whatever, But it's really something she loves. She's expressed how much she really likes his dress, and she wants support. So the husband says, it looks good. Okay. He says that so as, to preserve good feelings in the heart of his wife. So under those type of circumstances, it's permissible. Not that the husband is going to be out doing haram things and then lying to her, telling her, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and the other. We're not talking about this type of situation. Because though it would keep her in good feelings, but what he's involved in is haram. So we're not talking about circumstances of this nature. So in general, let us say that the lie Islamically is not permissible. It is forbidden in all its shapes and forms, with three exceptions. Now let's not call them the halal lies, because this is kind of stretching the terminology, and it kind of implies or encourages the idea that one can lie in halal. There are halal lies we can look out for, and then we can use these. No. These are special exceptions for circumstances to try to, bring people together, to protect people's lives. These special circumstances, then it has become permissible, according to the explanation of the Prophet. The second question of Sajid: is there a hadith that children cannot stand for prayers in the front row? Well, there is, in the lining up of prayers, the children, generally speaking, will be asked to stand in a row behind the main row. These are children who haven't reached puberty. This is what we're speaking about. A young person who has reached puberty, they can stand anywhere in the front rows. As they reach them, they stand with them. Okay? Now, the Prophet ﷺ did encourage that the children, those smaller children, stand, in a row behind the main rows, in order to avoid, breaking those rows. Where a young child who's below the age of puberty, they may be praying for a while and they get tired, they go walking away. So the line is broken. People have to now shift and go through all these type of emotions. So in order to preserve the integrity of the line, or if, for example, the imam is unable to complete the prayer, if there's a child behind him who would normally step forward, the person behind him would normally step forward to complete the prayer, they're not in a position, they don't have the knowledge, etc., then their presence in the front lines, is not really of benefit. So as a general recommendation, Islam does encourage that the children pray together behind the main row, to avoid, as I said, basically affecting the ranks and confusion. These young kids sometimes praying beside elders, they'll be scratching themselves, looking here and there and around, and it can break the concentration of those praying beside them. Sajid's third question is ta'weez, hanging on the wall or in frames. Are they permissible or not? Well, ta'weez, what was meant by ta'weez was written here, ta'weez, actually in proper Arabic, means a means of seeking refuge. Now, if it is the quls, the three quls, قل هو الله أحد, قل أعوذ برب الفلق, قل أعوذ برب الناس, the last two of which are referred to as the mu'awwadatan, or the two means of seeking refuge. And the Prophet ﷺ had recommended it to be recited in times of harm, where there are some kind of spiritual attacks on individuals, etc., to utilize them. If one puts them on the wall as a reminder to people, to read these surahs regularly, no harm. However, if one means by ta'weez, special formulas and writings which involve numbers and lines and, Naqsh Dawood, they call it, or Naqsh Sulaiman, these kind of things, which are unintelligible, then of course these things are forbidden. Whether you hang them on the wall, put them in a frame, whether you keep them in little packets, wear it around your neck or whatever, these type of modes of trying to seek refuge are unacceptable Islamically. A phone-in question here. I've got some money above the minimum for paying zakat, but I had some money, but lent it to somebody else. If I get it back, say in 6 months' time, should I pay zakat on that money 6 months or a year after I receive the money? Well, if the money was held for 6 months and returned, 6 months hence, really, that money remained one's money. 6 months hence, when the zakah would normally be due and a year has passed, then it would be better for the person to pay the zakah at that point. Not to wait now another year beyond that 6 months, because the money was still one's money. Now, the only time one is excused is if the person who has borrowed the money pays zakah itself. So when one lends money, it's better actually for one to go into some kind of agreement or arrangement with the person who's borrowing the money. If they've borrowed money which puts them above the level of those who are excluded for paying zakah or compulsory charity, then one has to come to agreement with them. Hey, listen, you have the money, it's in your possession now, you should pay the zakah. And this is better, the one who has the money in their possession, that they pay it. But if they refuse, if they say, no, I'm not going to pay it, I can't afford to pay it, whatever, I need the money for something else, etc., then the one who has loaned the money, that responsibility falls back on that individual. Because we cannot just cancel responsibility for this amount of money, which is in fact over, or puts one over the minimum exemption limit for payment of zakah. So it's better to make some kind of arrangement at the time of lending. If none is done and the person who has borrowed the money is not willing to do any payments, then the one who owns the money, whose possession it originally began with and to whom it will return, that person is then required to pay the zakah. With that, dear viewers, we'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of our program. We have looked at a number of questions concerning halal lies. We said really there are no halal lies. There are some exceptions for lying, but generally speaking, lies are haram. We also looked at children praying along with adults in the first rows, and hanging of means of protection, ta'weez on walls or in frames, etc., etc. We addressed all of these, and we hope that the answers that were given were useful and beneficial to you, and that you will continue to follow our program in our coming segments. You may write in to me, Dr. Bilal Phillips, at In the Light of Islam, Sharjah Television, and we hope you would do so. Our P.O. Box number is 111 Sharjah. Or you may call in to me, send messages to me through the phone at the Discover Islam Center in Dubai, 396-2190. That is 396-2190. With that, dear viewers, I'd like to thank you for following our program. We hope you'll continue to follow them in the future. And you would write in, and we hope to see you in our coming programs. And I bid you now farewell. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.